Hello, welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 218. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With us this week is Isli.
Yo,
And poor Zaya is still sick. Zaya's been sick for like a whole week, which is crazy.
she got the
No good.
vid or
Yeah,
something. The
probably.
Black Plague.
Yep. I got the black lung pop. But yeah, this week we had opening night live. Was kind of the big thing that happened. We'll cover that in a bit. We'll kind of hit the other things that happened outside of that. Starting with the Xbox announcing their Game Pass August Wave 2 lineup, which includes Dragon Age the Veilguard, which I think is also on PS Plus Extra, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that there. Or at least it's coming in their next week. They kind of do a similar thing for the extra and premium tiers. And then Gears of War Reloaded, of course, Persona 4 Golden, and some other things. So if you haven't played Dragon Age, the new one, you can go ahead and give it a shot there. I know some people
Did you
did
play
enjoy
it?
it. No, no, no. I'm not a. Like the only Dragon Age I ever played was uh
The very first
Inquisition.
one. Oh,
And like I was like, sure, I'll play. Like it was that weird year where it won. It was like that was such a weird year of gaming. And I played it. I was like, just because I wanted something to play it. I had fun, but I had no idea who anybody was. Yada yada.
yeah. I mean, they
Um,
were fine.
yeah,
Everyone wanted Dragon Age to be something it wasn't because it was a Bioware game. So
yeah.
that was Dragon Age summed up.
Yep. They'll also have stuff like let's see, Void Breaker, Goat Simulator Remastered, and yeah, so you can check those out. Apparently, Borderlands 3 is going to be coming to on. Oh, they're leaving. Never mind, these are games that are leaving. Boys, Borderlands 3. Sea of Stars is also leaving in the end of the month. So I haven't played Sea of Stars, and you're interested in that, go ahead and play on Game Pass before it goes away. Then some other news: BioShock Studio Cloud Chamber apparently underwent some layoffs, but I don't remember if we didn't talk about it when it happened the other week, but Rod Ferguson left the Diablo team, and he came on to help. He was originally someone who worked on Gears. Then he went over to help finish Diablo 4, and then he left there after being there for a couple years. But now he's at the studio now, uh, to help them, the Cloud Chamber, to help them finish off the new BioShock. I'm like, guys, like going around is like, we need a closer. Like, someone's got to help us finish this, and apparently that person is Rod Ferguson. So I'm sure once he's done with this and they do whatever content roadmap, if they have one for BioShock, then he'll see that through and then leave to go help someone else finish their stuff. I mean, I guess at some point there are a lot of those types of people who come and typically it's like a producer comes in to help you close, finish off a game. But yeah, it was
I
interesting.
mean, I guess if it's his niche and he's good at it and can get it done, like, why not? There are definitely a lot of studios that hit some end point where they're like, we just need someone to help us. And if
Yeah,
that's him, sure.
yeah. Apparently, it undergoes efforts to quote rework end quote its upcoming new Bioshock game. So I guess it just wasn't in a. Guess hard to make a Bioshock game when you don't have Ken Levine. But yeah, he's doing that. So we'll see what happens there. And then I saw that. So I never knew that Metal Gear Solid Delta came out, and they're like, oh, there's an Easter egg that was in it that they brought back for this, and it's made by Platinum Games. They worked on the Easter egg, and I was like, what Easter egg are you talking about? And like, I've never experienced this Easter egg. I guess it was only on PS2, where in when you get after you get captured as Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3, and then you're tortured, if you save and quit after I guess a codec conversation, and then load the game back up, you go straight into like this game that's this weird like hack and slash dual sword wearing or wielding protagonist against these monsters for some reason, and then goes on for quite a while, and then Snake wakes up. And I'm like, "What the hell? I've never known about this." And, like, they guess brought that nightmare sequence back in, but, like, they totally revamped like, the original when I looked at the video clip of it, it was, like, very bland hallway, these monsters and stuff, and then when I watched the remake version of it, I'm like, "This looks like Castlevania." Like, it was kinda crazy. I was like, "What the hell?" I've never known about this Easter egg ever. And with so many articles you see, like, the craziest Easter eggs in video games. And, like, I've seen, like, oh, the Psycho Mantis reads your memory card. No one ever said, "Yo, there's a secret nightmare scene in Metal Gear Solid 3 on the PS2 if you save and quit during this torture," which, again, is such a weird spot to do it. That's, like, very meta, like or, like, something you have to do in Tunic, right? You gotta save and quit and go back and then load a game, and there's a special save file. Like, I don't know who figured this shit out? Like, who's like, "Alright, I'm gonna call it here. I got tortured. I can't play anymore." Like, you'd have to especially in that era, right? Like, yeah, I'm sure you're the same way. Like you're playing for hours as a kid. Like you're not, taking a break. Like I'll play 30 minutes. I just happen to end at the torture scene. Like you'd have to end right there and leave this weird, perfect spot to get this unique cutscene. But yeah, they brought it back, I guess, and Platinum did it. It was like really weird, weird Easter egg. You should look it up if you're not familiar with it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
I mean,
Uh
I'll check it out. I was gonna say I never played that game to begin with, so
ah,
I didn't realize Delta was even out. I was just googling that. I'm like, really? Delta came out? I actually meant to pick it up.
yep, this week. And then a
Is it?
surprise announcement. Oh, go ahead.
Oh wow.
You
I
were saying?
mean, I googled it, and it's just like the first thing is I'm so disappointed with Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I'm like, I'm sure you are. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you are.
It reviewed well from everything I've seen. Like, yeah, it's good. Like, I don't know what people's problem is, but I don't know. I mean, it looks like I said. I'll probably get to it because it's like it's that thing we talked about before, where if you just do like a remaster of a game and it's one for one, like I'll be excited to replay it, but I'm not going to jump on it right away. Versus like, what was a game recently where they remastered, but it's like it's remastered, but it's also kind of like they tweaked some stuff and they reimagined a couple things where it's not a perfect one to one. And I can't remember what it was. Kind of like a T-Lu season 1 thing where it's like there's stuff in the show that wasn't in the game. I'm trying to remember like, oh, because then you're more incentivized to be like, oh, I'll watch this, or like they remake a movie or a show and like, okay, but we're gonna tweak some stuff and make it not exactly just one for one. I feel like when a game doesn't do like extra bonus stuff, then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not like super incentivized to try it right away versus like, yo, I want to see what you changed. But especially if I already, like I said, if I already played, I played a bunch of Metal Gear Solid 3. I even played Metal Gear Solid Online when it was out for MGS3. But yeah, moving on. Assassin's Creed Mirage apparently is getting some DLC later this year, which is so random considering Shadows is out. But yeah, they're giving you some DLC to go play around in Saudi Arabia, some city there. So I'm curious how that. I didn't finish Mirage, but I wonder if Zaya will. I think Zaya did. But yeah, I wonder. Because I'm curious, like, okay, well, with how it ended, does it make sense to have DLC, or is it kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do it like a lost level that they didn't finish or something? So more Assassin's Creed content. And then before we get into the stuff from opening night live that was shown, the last couple things we have here is the Division 2. Ubisoft teased that they had some news for the Division. Division 2's been going on for a long time. They keep getting content to it, content updates, yada yada. It's really good. I really like it. I played hundreds of hours of that game when it came out with the PS5 update. And they did announce a new game, a survival extraction experience called Survivors. So it's called The Division Survivors, which is interesting because they canceled the Division Heartland, which was like something else they were working on. And when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess Division really is just, at least the Dark Zone is just an extraction shooter. The only difference is people can only steal your shit if you're in the process of extracting versus extraction games now where you kill someone and loot their body. So I'm wondering if they're going to change that for Survivors, where it sounds like, and from the still image, okay, you're not a Division agent. You're just people like Heartland was supposed to be, just average people trying to survive. And if it's like, okay, you go out in an area like the Dark Zone gameplay mechanic, and you loot to bring back to help your settlement survive or something, which is a lot of what I wanted from the Tlu multiplayer. And then people can just kill you and take your stuff like that. I'm sure that's what it's going to end up being. Again, they didn't have any details, but just based on what the Division is and calling it Survivors and what they had going with Heartlands, which sounded really cool, but they scrapped it. Seems interesting. So I'm curious what they do. Obviously, it's in early stages, so it'll take a while before it comes out, but I'll be interested. See what happens.
Lots of good stuff.
Yep. And then the last thing, which was announced during the Gamescom week, so not from opening night live, but Hollow Knight Silksong got a release date. It is coming out September 4th. So
Basically a week.
yeah, not that far away. We're recording on Sunday, so it comes out essentially in a week and a half.
I'm really excited about it. I'm also extraordinarily cautious about it because I feel like they had an extremely, I don't want to say easy formula, but they had a winning formula with Hollow Knight. And I think that what people were hoping for out of Silksong was essentially for them to replicate Hollow Knight and just like more of it with a different level layout. So the fact that it took so long kind of has me worried of like what happened that it took so long? Like what did you change or what mechanics did you change or what did you do that made the sequel take so much longer than it was originally anticipated to take? And that makes me kind of cautious. but I am still extremely excited for the game to come out. I'm also worried that like the demo was the exact same demo at Gamescom that they've shown previously, and it's kind of like I guess I sort of expected to see something new, and it makes me lean like one of two directions, one of which is like optimistic and one's pessimistic. Of the optimistic side of me is like they've got such a banger game on their hands, they know it's so good, they're trying to keep everything under wraps so it's a big surprise. The other one is the pessimistic take on that of the game's not very good, hence why they showed the same demo again.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like because they did talk about the people that played the demo versus, back in the day versus now, as they were saying, like, how much they could tell, like, "Oh, this is better looking than what it was." So it's like, okay, you improved your art and everything, and it sounds like it's that I think, Jason Schreier had an interview with them on Bloomberg saying how they just had there was no trouble development. They just had a ton of fun doing it, like, making stuff, and it sounds like it's huge, like, much bigger than the original game. Hollow Knight. So it just seems like, hey, let's just keep going and keep going. Like, yeah, we can do more. And I'm sure it'll still be good. Like it there tends not to be, versus like film where, especially comedy suffers from it a lot. I need to get in other genres as well, but like what was funny in early 2000s isn't necessarily the same humor in the zeitgeist in like a 2015. So it's like when you like not I'm not like the biggest fan of Anchorman, but, like, Anchorman 2 just wasn't funny at all to me. Like, it was just a weird, like, "Hey, let's just be bombastic" kinda stuff, and I was like, I didn't enjoy that movie. Or, like, the Dumb and Dumber sequel. It's like, it's just you're a little too late. Like, what worked then, like, you can't just replicate it, yada, yada. Or, like, the Independence Day, sequel, it's like you took too long. It's like you can't you lost your way there. The first one's so good, but, uh games, I feel like you don't necessarily run into that unless you're like Duke Nukem, but, like, that's just trouble development. But, yeah, I think it'll be fine. Like, I am bummed it's coming out, like, so soon. Like, it reminds me of the, Lies of P DLC coming out just like, "Oh, yeah, and it's out now," or whatever it was. It's like, "What the hell? Well, I'm not gonna play it right now.
I mean,
I got other things."
I'll be honest, I feel like they had to do that though because it had such a long development cycle that if they gave a release date that was like 2 years out, people would be like, well, that's never happening. It's just
Well,
going to get delayed again.
not even 2 years, but, like, maybe, like, kinda like the Fallout 4 situation where it's like, that was like, "Yeah, it comes out in 6 months." Be like, "Hey, here's the game." Comes out, middle of October or November or something, like, "Here is, like, hit that window for Game of the Year nominations," or whatever, like, but it'd be like, "Oh, yeah, 2 weeks." I'm like, "Damn it, man." Like, not that I mean, I like Hollow Knight, but I'm not, like, in a fervor to play Silksong. I'll play it, but I'm not it's just like, I don't know if I wanna play that kinda game right now, but I mean, I'm excited it's coming out, I'm hoping it's good, and, the trailer, it looked fun, just going around, a lot of, parkour stuff, platforming, all
Hmm.
that. So, look, I saw a really funny reel on Instagram where it was that scene from the original Evangelion series where everyone's clapping for Shinji, saying congratulations, but it's like on the top it says Bloodborne 2, Half-Life 3, and like all these other games that aren't ever gonna come out, congratulating Silksong and finally getting a release date. Like, congratulations, congratulations. This is really funny. I was like, that's good stuff. But yeah, that's coming out soon. It should be a
Yeah,
good time.
very excited.
Um,
We'll probably pick it up and play it as soon as reviews actually come out for it.
yep. But yeah, opening night live was this week. I'm not going to recap everything that was shown. There's a lot of stuff. There's just trailers for things we already saw. Not necessarily a bunch of new stuff. There was some new things, but I'm not going to go through every single one. We'll just kind of cover like stuff that we saw that we're interested in outside of things that were already announced. I know you had mentioned, we talked about it in Discord. Some of the stuff that we saw. Was there anything to you that stood out like that was new that you're like, oh, because I know you said like you were excited about.
You put the big caveat on it, which
Well,
eliminates the things I
I,
was most
I
excited
was
about.
I was just about to remove it because the one thing I forgot the one thing you said about Silent Hill is you were kinda meh on Silent Hill, but the new trailer got you into Silent Hill
Yeah.
F, you're more interested?
So I feel like with these shows, usually I don't care about seeing trailers that I'm already sold on a game for. Like,
Mhm.
if I know I want a game and they play a new trailer or same trailer for it, usually I turn it off because I
Yeah.
am just like, I don't want to see more. I don't want more revealed. But in like a week and a half, basically, there are like 3 or 4 games coming out that I was like leaning towards purchasing or wanting to buy things I was interested in, and I wasn't quite sold on any of them. And Gamescom had trailers for basically all of those games that pushed me more towards like, oh yeah, I actually want to buy these. So Silent Hill F, I thought the coverage they had for it made the game look much more interesting than they've showed it originally. I'm really sold on the game now and kind of excited about it. Yeah, Silent Hill F is one of the big ones of like I really want to see what they do with the location. I am really curious about what the story is because Silent Hill is, the town in America, and the whole original game series is kind of like the combination of Americana combined with like Japanese game design. So moving to a different locale and time period, I think is going to be. It could be well. Before I was kind of worried about it. Now after seeing these recent trailers, I'm pretty psyched about it. So yeah, that was one of the two trailers that like piqued my interest in a game, and then Chronos, the new Bloober Team game, is another one where I have been like cautiously optimistic about it. But then every single trailer they've shown for that game has made me more and more excited to the point where now I'm just gonna wait for reviews because it looks great. I'm officially interested, and I will get it if it starts getting good reviews. But yeah,
Yeah.
like for me, Gamescom, there weren't really many announcements of things I cared about. It was mostly it just for some reason hit at a time where I am semi interested in a lot of games, but was, really cautious about all of them. And Gamescom actually pushed a lot of those into, oh yeah, these look great. I'm much more interested in them now.
Yeah, yeah, I had a lot of what you're saying that first. They were like, like I'm already gonna play the new Resident Evil. So when they showed, you know, the new trash, like I don't need to watch this. Like I watched a bit of it where like they're just like, oh, her mom's like, we gotta the power went out, we gotta. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna watch the rest of this. I'll see the game when it comes out. And then Silent Hill, I skipped it because I'm like, I already have seen it. Like if I had watched it live, I would have watched them all, but because it happened at like 11, I just kind of went back and scrubbed through some stuff. But I was excited to see that they announced that Ghost Legends for Ghost of Tsushima or the new Ghost of Yote is coming out. It's going to have the Legends is come back. So I thought, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that's going to be happening. And then Project Spectrum, which they showed early on, which I thought when I tuned in to it, I was like, oh, is this like when I scrubbed through, I was like, oh, is this Resident Evil? I'm like, no, this isn't Resident Evil. This is an entirely different game. That game looks interesting. I'm curious about that one. It was like a first person. There's like a spooky specter going around. They threw a Molotov at it, like people were dying. You had a gun and everything. I'm like, oh, this could be pretty cool. But we'll see how that goes. And then Dawn of War 4 for Warhammer being announced was interesting. I never played any of the Dawn of War games. They did just come out with the remaster of the first game, and it is an RTS. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll go back, and they're all on sale right now on Steam. Uh, maybe I'll go back and like play those. Like I like RTS games, and I'm into Warhammer now, so maybe I'll give them a shot.
You're
Um,
into Warhammer now.
yeah, and then there was a game that was called like Zero Parades, which piqued my curiosity, but I don't know much from the trailer what the hell is happening. So I'm like, I'll just have to see what goes on in the future. There was one game that was shown, which was already announced about a year ago, but I guess I don't remember it being announced. But it's a game, I put it on my wish list. It's called PVKK. I'm not gonna read the ridiculously long name that it is because it's all one word. But it's the publisher is Kepler Interactive, who did Dome Keeper. And the developer is Bipin Bits. I'm trying to see what they've done recently. Real quick. Oh no, they did Dome Keeper. Sorry, Kepler just published it as well. So they did Dome Keeper. It was by them. That's a game that was like got pretty popular for a while there. Like NL was playing it. A lot of people were playing it. But essentially PVKK is like you're from the trailer, it's first person, and you're like managing the like command room for this like giant cannon. And like the description on Steam says operate your planetary defense cannon to fend off an interplanetary invasion from the comfort of your cozy bunker. And like it seems like a cozy game with a weird mechanic where it's like you're repairing the bunker, you're upgrading your panels, you're getting up, you're making coffee, you're firing at stuff coming down to the planet. You have this giant cannon, you have to manage it, if stuff breaks down. But it seems like there's clearly something else going on. Like it seemed maybe at one point like people were trying to break into the bunker and like there's maybe you have to fend off some invaders or something. But I was like, this looks really cool. I was like, I gotta check this game out when I added to my wish list. There's no release date for it yet, but I was like, Dome Keeper, not necessarily my type of game, but if you make it to where it's this, I mean, essentially it's like Dome Keeper, but in a slightly different genre and done differently. It's like that really got my attention. I was like, this looks really cool. It could be like a fun, like cozy game, but you do more. And there's like, maybe some other stuff going on you don't know about. Like you could be part of that propaganda system. You think you're trying to defend something. It's like, actually no, you should let these people pass. But Yeah, that looks really cool. So that one looked really interesting. PBKK is that one. But yeah, there wasn't too much else from it that Valor Mortis, that's another game that I saw. It's that first person Souls like that's like during Napoleon era. And there's like people get mutated. Like it kind of has that BioShock abilities, it looks like, because you can dual wield a sword and a gun, very Dishonored, but you can also have like powers in your hand, very BioShock. So I'm like, this could be cool, especially if it's first person. First person swordplay isn't necessarily super great in a lot of games, but if they work that parry mechanic down in it for that Souls like mechanic, I'm like that could be a lot of fun. So that looks really interesting. I'm curious about that one as well. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't like a whole bunch that was new that I saw that I was like, okay, I'll play this. So but yeah, it was. I mean, overall, it was a good show. It was nice to see like this big old blast of different stuff uh,
I
that was
enjoyed
coming
the
out.
show. It wasn't anything spectacular, and it wasn't anything where it was like, oh, they've announced 17 new games and all of them are interesting. But I felt like it was just a very entertaining and solid show. Like it was just they covered a lot of stuff. It was interesting. It was just solid. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like there was probably something for everyone,
Yeah,
kind of situation. It's
yeah.
like, you didn't have like everything, but there's probably a couple things that were picked out that were new, or like in your situation, maybe, got you more on that side with like Silent Hill's new trailer and be like, oh, now I'm more interested in this thing because I saw more of it. So yeah, it's like it was definitely one of those shows. And there's obviously more stuff that was shown outside of the showcase during Gamescom over the course of the following days and what have you. But yeah, could be good stuff. And I'm curious about some of the things. Like I said, I put PVKK on my wish list, so I'll be monitoring that, see how it goes. That should be a fun time. And yeah, other than that, outside that, PS5 did announce, or PS5, Sony did announce price hikes for PlayStation 5 in the US. I forgot to add that to my list of stuff because I
uh,
put it in Discord.
it had to happen eventually. We
Yep.
knew it had to happen eventually.
It was nice that it was a flat 50. Like, there's 2 things, like, it's not a percentage of the console, so it's not like even though the digital is cheaper, it's like it wasn't like a percent increase to just that, it was just, no, 50 for that, 50 for the base console, and 50 for the Pro, and so it's like, okay, so it's like you're at both ends of the spectrum. It's like the Pro didn't get increased by, a percent that would make it higher because it's more expensive. It's just 50, but then the cheapest console didn't get a smaller increase because it's cheaper. Versus like I think Xbox when they did their stuff, it's very much like prorated to the cost of the console and the peripherals and what have you. So they did increase it. I know some stores are selling because it went live like on the 21st is what they said, but I know some retailers were still selling consoles. I'm sure whatever consoles they had in on their hand in stock already, they don't need to increase that price right away. Now, obviously, that they could if they wanted, even though they didn't necessarily pay those increased prices to get those consoles, but they can make that extra money if they
Dude,
wanted, I guess.
it is just wild to me that we are how many years into PlayStation's life cycle and we're doing console price increases this many years into the life cycle. I don't know if I will ever get over how strange that is to me.
Yeah, someone posted like just the price changes for every kind of like PS1 to PS2, PS3, PS4, and it's like PS5, and it's like, yeah, it's market conditions, man. Like that's where we're at. Like that's what's causing it because it's not just Sony, it's Xbox.
I
Uh,
mean, I get all of it. I
yeah,
understand why.
it's just
It
weird.
just is
Yeah,
still, yeah, I understand all of it, and it is still just weird to me that this is even a thing.
yeah, yep. It's
Like it should
it's
not
rough.
be a thing. We
Yeah,
should not be increasing prices this far into a life cycle. Everything should be getting massive discounts in order to increase the player base, in order to like build up hype for games and everything in the future.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's a weird one. But yeah, other than that, like I said, not much else news wise. A lot of just more coverage from Gamescom. You can check out either if there's demos or interviews are still going on. Like IGN's live right now, and or day 4 of Gamescom, so they're talking to to devs and whatnot. So a lot of stuff still going on there. If people want to check out anything they're interested in, follow up on it. But yeah, that'll I guess that's it for the news. So we can go ahead and jump into what we've been playing. What have I know you haven't kind of committed to anything when we talked last week. You
I went back
got
to
anything moving?
Balatro. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm really interested in 3 or 4 games that are coming out next month. I'm kind of curious about Hell Is Us, though. I think that's lowest on my tier since I played the demo for that, and the demo was hot garbage. It was not a good demo. Did you play the demo for that?
For which one?
Hell Is Us. It's the
Hell is.
new
Oh, I didn't. No,
third-person
I didn't.
shooter that's
I
it
didn't
kind
play
of
the
looks
demo
like
for it. No, I didn't realize
kind of
there was a
looks like
demo.
Remnant. Yeah. So the demo for Hell Is Us, which is coming out first week of September,
Hmm.
is I think you just need to try it, but it's basically like one button for combat and one button for a special. Like I guess I expected the combat to be significantly more interesting, and it's not. It's extremely simple combat. And then the movement kind of reminds me of Mario 64, where when you're running around in the demo and you turn too quick, your character leans into the turn left or right. And I saw someone point out that it's exactly what Mario does in Mario 64, and I can't unsee it now. So Hell is Us is a game that I'm like watching, and I will see we'll see how that one does. Unless it starts getting like 9 and 10s, I think I'm passing on it. But it was one of the games I was really interested that's coming out. And then what else is coming out? I just mentioned it. Oh, Chronos is coming out in September. Chronos: The New Dawn, which I do think that one is going to be good. And then Silent Hill F is coming out, and then Hollow Knight Silksong is now coming out. So I'm kind of just holding off on games for a week because in about a week there's going to be 4 huge games I am really interested in. Uh, but all this to say, I have been playing Balatro and going back to it because I think I only ever beat like 1 or 2 decks on Gold Stake before I put like way too much time into the game, and I just decided to go back. And it's a good game to just kind of like dick around in. You play a few rounds before bed or something, and then you just set it down and move on to something else.
Yeah, yeah. There's a. I am really curious in Hell is Us, and some of the stuff I've seen, like them saying, like they're not going to hold your hand, so has me really excited. And some people have talked about playing like either seeing behind closed doors demos or playing like a different demo or something like that. Sound interesting. So I'm really curious how that one turns out. Um,
It
Definitely.
looks really cool, and the trailers they've shown look gorgeous. The demo itself just left a lot to be desired, which it's really hard because sometimes demos are like, this is perfectly reflective of what the final game is going to be, and it's not actually like, sometimes it is literally a snippet from the final game and it's exactly how it's going to be. Other times demos are just to like gauge interest and get like a little bit of feedback, and they're kind of like less a demo and more a beta. And it's always really hard to know if there's going to be like a day one patch that's huge that corrects a lot of stuff, because that started becoming a regular thing of like day one patches that are enormous and totally change a gameplay. So like I like the concept. I really liked Remnant, and it reminds me a lot of that. So the demo, we're just going to see. That's not going to be a game I'll pre-order though. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just there is so much coming out. A lot of it just depends
Oh
on
yeah, it's going to be a really busy September, but it'll be a fun one. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially because like yeah, because when is the release date for Hell is Us release date?
I think it's September 4th or 5th. God, or
Yeah,
1st.
September
It's
4th.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be like counter programming to Silksong if I don't play that right away. And I guess too it would come down to like pricing. Like people, I'm curious how much Silksong's gonna cost. But yeah, it'll be interesting to play those. And then yeah, of course, and then the freaking Dying Light the Beast, I got like that because that got pushed to September. So it's like the stuff I originally planned to play in August, which was gonna be I would be playing Dying Light the Beast right now. That's like that got pushed, so I play it right away.
That's a game where it's on my list. God, I forgot about that. But that one is on my list as well. And it's really interesting just because I feel like the concept of that game is not what I would have predicted for a new Dying Light game. I
Yeah.
figured they would have done a third sequel thing and like set it further in the future or something. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. I love the movement in Dying Light. It's so fun.
Yep. Uh, yeah, I haven't been playing too much. Like I said, after I beat Death Stranding, I was kind of like, okay, well, what am I gonna play now? So I beat that, and I couldn't really decide. I was hoping Zai would be here so we can talk spoilers about that game, but yeah, just not playing a lot. Like I'm trying to think of. Oh, I played Sword of the Sea. That's right. That was a short game, so that took me real quick. But yeah, I played Sword of the Sea. I beat that short game. You can beat it in like a couple hours. I enjoyed it. It was funny. People were like, "Oh, it's a lot like Journey." Well, yeah, it's made by a lot of people who did Journey, and it feels very much like a spiritual successor, I guess you would call it. Like if it was, uh, if they didn't make anything else after Journey, and then later decided to make it under a new studio. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I never played any of the other games they did, like Abzu or the Pathless. We were talking about it at Discord. Like I kind of want to go back and play the Pathless because that's got look like it has some good movement.
I I played both of those. Abzu was fine. I didn't have problems with Abzu, but I also didn't really love Abzu. It was just fine. Pathless though, I thought was a really fun game. The movement in that game was great, and it was actually like one of their games they released where they had more, I guess, actual gameplay mechanics, which I kind of typically enjoy. I love Journey, but I also think that like, there's something to be said about actually having more gameplay mechanics sometimes, and I think that some of their games don't have that. So, yeah, strongly recommend the Pathless. I really liked it, and it has great movement. It's really really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I really like the movement in Sword of the Sea. I thought it was really good. Um,
They just do good with the movement in their games. They've got a knack for it.
yeah. It also it looks really good. I like the even though you're on sand or you can be in like snow or other environments, like everything moves like it's waves though. So it's like it's interesting to see sand moving as if it's water, and then the mechanic of like restoring areas is just really cool. I love that, and just the it's got has fun haptic feedback in the controller. But yeah, just a fun game. And I do want to figure out like there's like these abilities you can unlock by collecting these like gems, and you turn into this like little vendor guy who oh, you get this ability now, you get this ability, and then when you beat the game, you get some extra ability as well. But there's like still one ability, like the last ability, which I couldn't unlock in one playthrough. It's like I can only unlock it on a new game plus because of how much it costs. So I was wondering, like, I was trying to Google it, like, what is the final ability? But because the game like just came out, I don't think anybody got it, so I don't know what it is, and I'm wondering, like, is it something that would, because you can only get it on NG plus because of the cost, like, will it like, is it something that's, like, super fun that even increases, like, the movement, more, substantially? Um, but yeah, I don't know, I have to go back and give it a shot. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, it's free on, PS Plus Extra, so you can check it out there, and then I think it's also on PC, but, those are the only platforms right now. But, yeah, good. I enjoyed the game. I had some fun with it. Like I said, I beat it, like, I had 2 streams, and then I like, the first half hour of the 3rd stream, I was at the end, and I was like, "I beat it." But yeah, that was fun. And then, yeah, other than that, I did start I'm in the middle of a new mission on Icarus, so I'm back in there doing a mission, one of the late game ones, just grinding away at that, doing all the stuff I need to do. But yeah, haven't played too much else. Sometimes I'll play, just kind of hop around, like I play Auction Not Included a little bit, just work on the save I got there. I haven't played Grey Zone Warfare in a while, and I was like, man, I should do like a BG3 run, but like use the characters I never used, like because I was like, okay, well, but the problem I always had with that is like a lot of characters you don't get until like like Halcyon you get like way later. Uh, in I think you have him in your party until Act 2. Like you see him in Act 1, but I don't think he joins you yet. Because you have to save the Grove and all that jazz. But like use Halcyon, use like later when Minsk shows up, use him. You know, just try to use character Jahara, I guess, because she can be in a party later if you do things right. I could run. I'm totally blanking on his name. But the one guy who has the pact with Minthara, or what's her name?
The
Dang it.
dude that has the pact with Minthara,
Not Minthara. What's the demon? He's the Duke.
Karlach.
No, he wants to kill Karlach, but he's the Duke, and like if you don't kill Karlach, then he turns into a demon. He gets a demon horns. I'm blanking
Oh
on his name
God.
right now. I'll just look up the companion list and tell you. Will. There we go. The warlock.
Oh yeah, yeah. God,
Yeah,
wow. Can't believe I was blanking on that so much.
yeah. Let's see. Trying to think. Mizora is the name of the demon, not Minthara. Minthara is the companion. I
Yeah,
always get their
I
names. They're both M's.
never
Uh,
actually played with Will in my party.
Yeah. Yeah, because I never used Will because I was like, at that point, by the time you find it, it's like I had Asterion, Shadowheart, and Gale, and then later I got Karlach. It's like, okay, and you have Lysel as well. So it's like you have so many people. They give you 6 companions in pretty quick succession in Act 1. So yeah, I was like, and I think what I probably should do is maybe I'll play as one of the origin characters instead of like making a character. That way I could see like the more unique things with their story. But like later when you like I said, when you get Halcyon, we get Minsk, and maybe like Jahira, some like play with characters I never would. But I just have to like respect them to be like not whatever they are. But like
I would
definitely one
try that,
will.
but it would be the same thing as like when I tried to do an evil playthrough, and I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't. I have to play as these characters.
Yeah. What I'd have to do is I have to put it on, like, super easy difficulty just so I can get through it. Because what I'm interested in is just their interactions and the dialogue and, like, how. Because I saw someone say, like, why have I been sleeping on Minsk this whole time?" Like, okay, well, there's probably, like I'm sure there's some great stuff there if you just have them in your party, but because you have so many characters and it's like a game that gives you something, like, way late, I'm like, "Well, I'm already used to what I'm using. Why am I gonna use this other thing that I'm not spec to it, have to respec to it and learn its entirely new moveset, and I'm late game, I'm not gonna do that." So but yeah, like I still have to beat my Dirge one anyways, which I have Minthara in that one, and so I get to see her stuff. And I love Minthara. Minthara is a really fun character. I love that dialogue I posted in Discord where she just talks to Gale and it's just like it's so mean. And I just love her conversations that she can have with certain characters where they're just like ribbing each other. She's so funny. I love Minthara. There's some reels I always find where people just post like interactions between characters, like when your companion's just walking out in the world and they talk to each other. Like I love hearing some of those that I've never heard before. It's like they're always fun to hear. Um,
God, if you start that game now, though, you're gonna not finish in time to play any of the new games that are coming out in a week.
that's why I said I'd play on easy because then I know everything and I just want to see.
Even even if you play on easy, there's no way. Like that
Yeah.
game is so long and detailed. You're gonna want to
Mhm.
explore shit to actually hear the interactions from side quests and stories and things.
Yeah. It'd be something I'd have to, like, chip away at over time. It'd be the game I don't play on stream or at night. It'd just be something I could easily play, like, in the day while, like, the kid's sitting with me or something because I only need to have, like, a mouse. I don't have to use the keyboard that much with that game, but we'll see. I don't know. But, like, a lot of stuff coming out, to play, so can do that. Man, I wish I every all the notes I have are all related to Death Stranding, so I can't talk about them because.
Because Zai is not here. And we need the day where I try to guess the story at our next cast or something. We'll do a spoiler cast and I'll try to guess the story.
I know, right? We gotta do that. We still have to play Abiotic Factor.
It's true.
Yep.
I did
So
download it though, so I have it available.
that's good. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it there. I don't have anything else to add. Oh, I did. I made my. I talked about it on Discord, but I made my. I guess it maybe it. I didn't have an account on eBay, I suppose, before. I guess you could buy stuff as a guest, but I bought like my second purchase off eBay, which is some Warhammer stuff from a. They had like there's these 2 units that they don't make, and they only sell them as a set, or they were part of the original Leviathan box when 10th edition came out, but they don't make it anymore at Games Workshop. And I'm like, so there's these units that I can't buy because they're online only, but they've been out of stock on their site. No one carries them. So I had like find someone who has them online, and I found an eBay seller who had it, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll make my second only purchase off eBay, and hopefully everything goes well. And luckily it went well. It was packaged nicely. Yeah, a little too tight in the box. Kind of wish it was a little looser with some bubble wrap, but the sprues were fine. There's no problem. So I don't know. It was good there. I just got to put them together. Hopefully later today. I got my little guy yelling for me now. he wants to see me. But anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Izzy, for joining.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
Later.